EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martin here with your outlook for January 25th, 2021. For your Monday, we have a light overrunning wintry precipitation event that's going to be pushing toward the region today. We will not have anything during the day. I think this is going to be just a day we see increasing clouds, and that's it. Temperatures are going to be seasonable, maybe even very slightly above what average is this time of year. And then we have some snow that's going to work into our southern areas during the course of the evening, probably mid to late evening that this comes in south central PA, and it kind of works its way northeastward. But as it does so, it's going to be falling apart. This is not very organized, and this was very, very poorly modeled this week on across the board. And now we did see a trend weaker over the weekend once it got a little bit closer to it, but the advanced stuff, when we get in the mid-range here, was looking like we'd have a nice 3 to 6, 4 to 8 inch snowfall. That is not going to happen today, as we're looking at it this morning. And we have the maps out on the weather alerts page that we put out yesterday. A lot of grumblings and moans and groans about it. It is what it is, folks. I mean, it looked like it was going to be a little bit better than this, or a little more organized than this when we were looking at this earlier in the weekend. And now it looks like it's just going to be a very nuisance, light, wintry event. So, again, that precipitation is going to move in. In many areas, it's going to be snow initially, and it's very just light snow, snow showers, moving northeast through our region during the course of the overnight. And then in southwestern areas, at a minimum, you're going to see a changeover to sleet and then some freezing rain, some very light freezing rain and drizzle. Again, this is not a real big, heavy thing here, so even the areas that are getting icing, it's not going to be a whole lot. It's going to be definitely under a tenth of an inch, but you're looking at, in most cases, a few hundredths of an inch of freezing rain here that we're dealing with here on Tuesday. Tuesday's just going to be very light, very intermittent, spotty stuff. In most areas are going to be like spotty freezing drizzle or maybe some light sleet pellets bouncing here and there, but it's really not that big of a deal on Tuesday, and then this pulls away on Tuesday evening here and pulls away from the region. So when we look at the high-resolution rapid refresh, we're going to move this through. This is the evening run here. I'm going to take this through the precipitation type breakdown. Again, coming in mid to late evening here in the south central PA area, and then it's going to expand northeastward. It looks like it's going to be a heck of a hit here, but then it just kind of runs out of steam here. Moving northward, you just get some light snow showers very slowly advancing to the north here during the course of the overnight. And so many of you, once you get to Tuesday morning here, this is 6 a.m. on Tuesday, many of you might have just very little on the ground, if anything at all. Okay, especially across New Jersey. I don't expect much there at all, and much of that, except for far northern New Jersey here. But there's going to be a big chunk out of the middle here that's going to be missing stuff. Once we get into Tuesday morning, though, during the course of the morning, we get on the front edge of that, you have snow as it's pushing off to the north. You have sleet changing over, mixing with and changing to sleet in the middle here, and then freezing rain farther south. And this continues off to the north over the next several hours here. But that transition goes from snow to sleet to freezing rain. Then even some rain farther south here during the course of the day here on Tuesday. And then we have some leftover light wintry mix stuff in the evening here that we'll be dealing with. This ends here at 7 p.m., but we'll continue a little bit past that until late evening on Tuesday. Here's what we have for snow totals on the European model. This came in after we released our map and almost looks identical to it. So the European model came in very similar to what we have here. You get a little thump of snow here in the front where it's a little bit more robust or modest down here by the Pennsylvania Maryland border, and then it moves northeastward and it just kind of gets sheared apart, and you get this big gap here in the middle. Most notably is this area that people were groaning about in southeast PA and over to southern New Jersey that we saw had a little swath there that we had very little, and people were like, well, why is that? That doesn't make any sense. Well, this is why. You get this little the advanced line here moving northward and losing steam as it does so, and so all of this here is falling on Tuesday. Okay. And the gap in between is not producing too much. So we have these areas in here, the lower elevations, generally a 1 to 2 inch type range of snow. I don't think we're going to be changing too much of the snow map. I'm not interested in micromanaging the living hell out of this because it's such a light nuisance event, and you get the general idea. If we're off by an inch here and there, who cares? You get the general idea. It's going to be very light intermittent here, which means it's going to be on and off, not constant either. And we're also going to have We might have to change the sleet and freezing rain maps to move that a little bit further north, but that's about the only thing I change here at this point. Here's the high resolution rapid refresh again, only going through 7 p.m. in the evening. I have a little bit more to add to this, not much, but this is the general idea here. Same thing. This gap in the middle is missing on the high resolution rapid refresh. There's really not too much in there, but north of there, lower elevations are in this 1 to 2. Just north of that area I circled. So, and then this is the initial wave down here. So your 2 to 4 areas are going to be up here for those areas, and it's generally favoring higher elevations to see that. So that's that nuisance event. I want this to be out of here because this has been frustrating this week with this thing, trying to track it. But we go into the next storm signal that we listed the long range, but we had moderately low confidence in it because we expected it to stay south, but we were going to keep an eye on it just in case. New model trends here are to keep this, in fact, south of the region. So there could be a little bit of fringe light snows here for parts of Delaware, southern New Jersey we have to keep an eye on. That's not a guarantee either. The new GFS that ran this evening that was so aggressive for much of our area for a couple days there has backed off, and it's even less aggressive here than the European model shows. But we're going to keep an eye on far southeastern areas, coastal regions here for some very light minor snow accumulations on the northwest fringe of this system as it pulls away. And then we're going to turn attention to some cold days here on Thursday and Friday. We're expecting maybe mostly cloudy skies here on Thursday. Maybe clouds giving way to sun later in the day, and then partly cloudy Friday. But those couple days there and Saturday, mostly sunny following this up. Those couple days are going to be really cold as you get a really deep trough settling in, and many areas are going to be below freezing all 3 days. So it's going to be a cold run there for at the very end of the week here, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And we start to moderate slightly here on Sunday, and we have another storm signal here. This is the one we listed for the 31st and 1st, and this is it. A couple different ways this is being modeled here with some overrunning precipitation. Again, this could be another snow event here. I don't want to get excited about this just yet either because we've seen all these little systems that look so promising in the mid-range just fall apart, and this is now getting in the mid-range. So we'll see what this does. GFS has something similar here with snow at least to start going over to other precipitation types. That's probably a better idea. But again, this is something that we're talking about being next Sunday and Monday. So let's just pump the brakes a little bit, and we'll continue to watch this throughout the week, but just don't expect that this is going to turn into some big blizzard or anything like that, or some major snowstorm. I mean, it could, but we've seen how things have trended here recently, looking great in the mid-range and then tailing off as we get closer. So I don't want to get anybody excited about this particular storm here, but it is another signal that we listed in a long-range outlook. So the storms are there. It's just a matter of what they're doing and where they're hitting, and they're there. We've identified them, and we correctly identified them. It's just a matter of right now they're just the one today is very weak. The one on Thursday is there, but it's going to remain a little bit too far southeast. Might have some fringe impacts for southern New Jersey and Delaware to keep an eye on. Here's that third signal right there. So we'll keep an eye on that throughout that week and give you updated information as we see it throughout the week with new information as we get it. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martinstein. That is your outlook for January 25th, 2021. Have a great Monday.